أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم عبد الله ورسوله، وهو خير البشرية، وهو خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين، عليه أفضل الصلاة والتسليم. وصلى الله وسلم على محمد، وصلى الله وسلم على محمد، وصلى الله وسلم على محمد، صلى الله عليه وسلم. I bring you warm greetings from the mosque on a topic that is a bit stringent in its designs to evoke in you the emotions of concern, fearful concern about the day of judgment. One of the things that we do is we take lessons from the lives of the companions and the followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who are human beings just as we are, and show us in their life stories how to live this religion successfully as human beings. And one such companion is Al-Hasan ibn Abil Hasan. And he said something very interesting. And we'll only read the English, but this is what he said. This is what's recorded that he said. On a day during the month of Rajab, while in the mosque, as Al-Hasan ibn Abil Hasan was drinking water, swishing it around in his mouth, he took a deep breath and then he began to cry violently. So violently that his shoulders began to rock back and forth. Then he said to all in attendance, if our hearts were really alive with Islam, and if our hearts were really righteous, we would all cry in great fear on a night like this, in greater fear that tomorrow will be the day of judgment. This night is completely shaken by the prospect of resurrection in the morning. It will be a day in which humanity must bear all before the Lord, and it is a day in which humanity has not cried more than they will during this day, the day of standing and accounting. To reflect on these words for us, brothers and sisters, the meaning of the nighttime to the religious man or woman takes on a shade of understanding that is uncommon to people who are consumed by the promise of this life being the final life, and that this life is the life that's represented in the notion that you only live once, that there is no tomorrow, that you make the most out of today because there is nothing after today. These ideas are anti-Islamic, anti-Quranic, anti-Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what we want to do is we want to emphasize the akhirah, the next day, the eternal day after this day, and de-emphasize dunya. And in the words of this tabi'i, saint brother, Al-Hasan ibn Abil Hasan, we find that the way that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught Islam, taught the companions, who taught the followers, who taught the Salihin, the righteous scholars of Islam, is that we are to always carry with us a concern that we are living in a temporary realm, that there is a permanent existence after this life, and that there are no guarantees, and that Allah sees and knows and hears everything. And so there is no escaping Allah. And so that we must surrender ourselves as servants to the will of Allah. knowing that any other prospect for us is futile to go after, to chase after, because Allah is the supreme creator, and as we have heard very eloquently stated to us in the Quran, وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ, and in the final analysis, there will be the face of your Lord in all its glory and might, exalted before everything that was created. Nothing will live past Allah. Nothing. And knowing that, it should change our attitudes. It should make us a different kind of person, a different kind of brother, a different kind of sister. One who has a serious, mature outlook on what it is to be a Muslim and a servant of Allah, and who has de-emphasized all attachments to dunya, and who has re-emphasized the attachment that needs to be in place regarding the day of standing, the day of judgment. May Allah make us all mature Muslims who understand the seriousness of the equation, the reality that exists before us all, that we are here being tested by Allah to see whether or not finally, if we qualify for His paradise, for His Jannah. We ask Allah in prayer and dua that He qualify us all, that He cause none of us to suffer, to go to hellfire and suffer and be punished for sin, that He forgive us instead. And His infinite mercy, He forgive us based on the fact that we testify and witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His last messenger. With this mighty statement on our hearts, we throw ourselves at the mercy of Allah and ask Him to forgive us, to grant us all Jannah, and to grant us all the ability to finally see His glorious face in paradise, Jannat al-Na'im. Rabbana Ameen, Rabbana Ameen, Rabbana Ameen. And may Allah keep you on the path of Islam. May He keep your heart pure, and we hope that He will give us all Jannah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.